Hello everyone, I'm Nisarg Mehta and I'm welcoming you back to another episode of the stories of victory and valor from India. For this story, we will go back in time to late 1800s to a small village named Ulihatu near Ranchi district in Jharkhand state. This is the story of a boy born in 1875 in Ulihatu who lived for just 25 years. But he went on to do something so remarkable that he became known as the father of the land by his tribe. During that time, British were ruling India. With their strategy, regulations, and restrictions, they were successful at exploiting labor, resources, and money from Indians, leaving Indians in poor state. India at present covers a landmass of 3.28 million square kilometers, which is roughly 1.26 million square miles, which is after partition of 1947. Before partition, it covered the greater landmass, since India included Pakistan as well as Bangladesh. Also, India has diversity in natural resources and elements. For example, while northern half does not have any coastline, the southern half of India is surrounded by seas and ocean. Furthermore, while some part of the country is a desert, many other parts have hills and rivers running across. I believe you got the gist of what I am trying to convey. Due to such enormous and diverse landmass, it was nearly impossible for the British to gain the most using the same strategy. Hence, they implemented different strategies for different terrains based on the type of exploitation and gains they were targeting. One such policy was implemented in Ulihatu and its surrounding areas. The British delegated their work to local zamindars. Now, zamindars are individuals who autonomously or semi-autonomously rules over a region or province. They forced locals to pay rent and taxes of various kinds, while the remunerations from the labor work that they did was bare minimum. To add to the injury, Christian missionaries, taking advantage of such crippling conditions of locals, swooped in like vultures to convert local tribal people into Christians. While being in such destitute conditions, in 1894, famine struck due to lack of rain in the region. This was the rock bottom. That boy, now around 19 years old, couldn't stand a sight of such extreme conditions of his fellow tribesmen. So he decided to take action to make things better, no matter what it takes. As mentioned earlier, this boy was born in a small village of Ulihatu in year 1875 to father Sugana Munda and mother Karmi. He was shifted to Chaibasa for study around 135 kilometers from his birthplace. There, he was admitted to English medium school where he studied from 1886 to 1890. During that time, he grew up to be a strong, an intelligent human being. Also, he had recognized the potential in him to challenge the authorities who were oppressing the fellow tribesmen. His name was Birsa Munda. He belonged to the Munda tribe. Initially, his family had converted to Christianity and were members of German mission. They gave up this membership around the same time his admission was withdrawn from the school. The family went back to their tribal religious practices. Sardar agitation was gaining grounds at that time, and following the strong discontent towards the restrictions imposed on the Mundas by the British, Birsa joined the protest. And this marked the beginning of his next 6 years long journey to become who is now revered as God in that part of India. In 1894, when the drought struck, Birsa helped the people of his community dedicatedly. People were already overburdened by various taxes imposed upon them. Hence, Birsa took it upon himself to get rid of at least some, one of which was the forest tax. Following this, on 1st of October 1894, Birsa gathered his fellow tribesmen and took them to Chaibasa to request authorities to revoke the forest tax. This was the incident when he was acknowledged as the leader of his community by the people. Remember, Birsa was just 19 at the time. Later, he organized his community and started to openly oppose the British and the Christian missionaries, because of which he was imprisoned for 2 years in Hazaribagh Central Jail. After being released from the prison, he got back to his community and started helping people who were affected by drought and illnesses, while also restoring their tribal religious practices. Due to such actions, people started to address him as the father of the land and started to revere him as God. Thereafter, he again engaged in strong agitations against the British, which would often turn violent and confrontational. In one such incident, in 1897, he led a crowd of 400 people equipped with bows and arrows and attacked Kunti police station. In another incident, in 1898, the Mundas confronted the British troops on the banks of river Tanaga and successfully defeated them. In January 1900, Birsa led his tribesmen to Dombari Hill, where they engaged in battle with the troops. Many men, women, and children of the Munda community were martyred. Also, many followers of Birsa were apprehended, but Birsa escaped. It wasn't for long though. On 3rd February 1900, Birsa was captured from Chakradhar forest and imprisoned. The conditions for Birsa were made worse as he was constantly tortured for months. Succumbing to such callous treatment, he took his last breath on 9 June 1900 at the age of 24. But the story of Birsa Munda doesn't end there. Due to the actions he took for the betterment of his people, religion, land, and forest, statues are erected in his memory. And even to this day, tribal people from Jharkhand to West Bengal revere him as God. I thank you all for listening to the story of Birsa Munda. I hope you liked it. Leave a little comment and subscribe. And don't forget to share with your friends. I'm Nisarg Mehta, and these are the stories of victory and valor from India.